reason number 33 to get a Nissan. The cold. Because winter isn't done with us yet. Good thing the 2026 Nissan Rogue was built to conquer all conditions. With intelligent all-wheel drive, standard heated front seats, heated steering wheel, and heated mirrors, you can leave the worst of winter out in the cold. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue S starting at 0.4% for up to 36 months. Includes a 0.5% loyalty rebate for qualifying Nissan customers. Until March 2nd on approved credit. Conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Justine McIntyre. It is October 29th today, Tuesday. And we're going to be talking now about a new survey from Somme La Presse. This new survey is showing that 42% of Montrealers are going downtown less than they used to before the pandemic. And who's traveling downtown less? People older than 55 years old, people from the West Island, people from the East Island, and Francophones also visiting downtown less than Anglophones. 58% of respondents say they visit downtown at least once a week, though. We had a chance to unpack this a little bit on yesterday's Big Five with Jimmy Zubris and Meeker Guerrier, but now we get to talk about it with Glenn Castanheira. He's the director of Montreal Centre-Ville. Welcome to the show, Glenn.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you on. I want to talk to you about the survey. Is there anything surprising in these results, first of all?
No, it's in complete coherence with our own surveys, and I'd go even further saying too, it's similar to trends we see in most downtowns in North America. I even go as far as saying it's coherent with, I mean, we could have had this survey 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, and the results would have been quite similar.
Wait a minute. 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. No. We must be in a different situation now than we were 30 years ago, surely.
When it comes to the perception of downtown, unfortunately not. And mind you, surveys are very useful, but they do show a perception, and then we need to tackle the reality.
Okay.
Because the reality, Justine, is that when it comes to foot traffic in downtown, there are more people in downtown Montreal today than they were in 2019. That might be hard to believe, but that's because despite opinions of certain detractors, downtown Montreal has an incredible power to attract and retain people. That being said, that is not to say that we don't have challenges, and we need to tackle them seriously.
Okay, so where's that foot traffic coming from then? If it's not people that are 55 years and older, it's not people from the West Island, where are they coming from?
So there are some people that are 50 and over from around the city, many of them residing in downtown. It's important to know that downtown Montreal has had the fastest demographic growth of all Canadian downtowns. So that it's important to know, fastest growing downtown in Canada is downtown Montreal. Add to that our students. We often forget that downtown Montreal isn't the downtown of 50 years ago where, you would only go to shop and only go to work. Downtown Montreal is Canada's university capital. We have over 130,000 students. Heck, we're North America's second largest university cluster. I mean, think about all of the United States, all of Mexico, all of Canada. We're number 2.
Who's number 1? I'm just curious.
Number 1 is Boston right now. Well, actually, not so much Boston that it is Cambridge.
Okay.
Cambridge,
Massachusetts. Okay, that makes
correct.
sense. Okay, so Montreal number 2 still. That's great. I mean, that's great.
That's giant. Cities like Chicago, just to give you a scale, cities like Chicago, which is a fantastic city, a fantastic downtown.
Yeah, I was there recently.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Chicago has roughly 30,000 students, and they're extremely proud of it. Mm-hmm. We should be proud of our own status there. And then we are North America's international event capital. By international events here, we're talking about conferences, congresses. We're talking about brains and intelligentsia from around the world that come meet here in Montreal. And then you add to that our tourists. We host in downtown Montreal as many tourists, more tourists than there are Quebecers in Quebec. We hosted over 11 million visitors last year alone, and there's no sign of it going down. We're actually increasing the amount of visitors. So that's a whole lot of people. Then add to that the workers, of course, that also work downtown. We have despite post-pandemic remote work, we're still at over 300,000 workers.
Slowly coming back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all that to say, and on top of that, shoppers and our festivals. So
festivals,
a lot of people.
Okay.
But just like any North American downtown. I mean, forget about Montreal for a minute. Think about New York. You know, how many of us know people who live in New Jersey or Long Island? How many of them go to Manhattan on a regular basis? Not that many. But the importance here is that whether you live in Kirkland or Laval or anywhere else, if we can't convince you to come every day or every week or every month, one thing's for sure. When visit comes from abroad, you're hosting family members from the United States or Ontario and anywhere else in the world, you're going to bring them downtown. Because here is the place to congregate. And if we can't get you downtown, and that's an issue that we do have, we need to do a better job at that when it comes to accessibility, parking, public transportation, safety. All these things are quite important that we need to keep working on.
Well, you're right about that. The out-of-town visitors love to go to the Mount Royal, that's for sure. So if we can't get you out of your home to come downtown, then we got to wait for visit. But I think you brought up some of the same issues that our listeners bring up. And when we talked about this yesterday on the Big Five, those were some of the obstacles that were mentioned by our listeners. So obviously, you know, traffic, construction, road work, difficulty finding parking. These are issues that come up again and again. And one thing that I brought up was the REM and the fact that the people in the West Island are still waiting for for the REM to be functional so that they can come into the city. What can we do to make things more attractive, let's say, or easier, or to encourage people that are in those categories that are coming less frequently downtown? What can we do to bring them in?
Yeah, well, two elements here. One of them, and the most important, which is where we're putting most of our energy, is the experience when you come downtown.
Okay.
Now, mind you, your listeners are maybe thinking when we say downtown, that's, you know, it's very broad. Everybody has a different definition of downtown. Think about Place Ville-Marie. You know, draw a line of roughly 2 kilometers, 1 kilometer each side, right? That's pretty much the downtown core. Atwater, Saint-Urbain, Saint-Laurent, Sherbrooke, Old Montreal, that's downtown. So we really need to work better on the experience. And I have to say, so far, so good. Customer satisfaction of when we question the visitors that are downtown, and we ask them, what do you think about your experience? Over 90% of them say they have either a good or a very good experience downtown. This goes for residents, students, workers, and tourists alike. Tourists actually have the best opinion over near 100%. So, you know, making sure downtown is clean, making sure you feel safe, making sure that, because mind you, downtown is safe statistically, but you can't deny that when you see people with mental health issue, because, you know, downtown is public. We don't chase people away. We take care of them. So you are going to be confronted with some of the issues that we have in society, and we really have to tackle that. So that's one thing. Once you're here, you need to have a great experience. The other one, and mind you, we're going to have the Santa Claus parade coming. We have the winter illumination. You know, all our public squares are going to be illuminated throughout the winter. So, you know, long nights, come for a walk. You're going to check it out. It's going to be amazing. The other one is accessibility, and that's a huge challenge. The REM is going to be, especially for West Islanders, a big game changer. It's also going to be connected. You know, McGill is going to be connected to the airport with a 20-minute ride. That's going to be a major game changer. Imagine that. You're landing in Montreal, you take the REM, 20 minutes, you're in the heart of downtown. But the truth is, Justine, that if when it comes to getting downtown by car, it won't get much better because we're saturated. You know, we're packed. You know, the good old nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded is very true. Now, that is not to mean that we need to be like some decisions that have been made that sends the signal that, you know, if you come by car, you're a demon and we don't want you here. We need to change that, you know, speech and optimize our off-street parkings to make it easier to access. A lot of people don't know. You can park downtown evenings and weekends for roughly $10, and you have a heated, safe underground parking where you can just forget about it and come and pick it up a couple hours later. We need to make that known, easier to access. But also, we need to give alternatives. There isn't a single downtown, and I say this often, and you know, prove me wrong. There isn't one downtown in the world that is worth going to, that is a popular downtown, where it is easy to access by car. I mean, Calgary is super easy to go by car.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. super easy, but also super easy to drive away.
That's true.
And it's empty evenings and weekends.
If it's easy to drive there, and I'm not talking about Calgary. No, I'm not. I don't want to throw shade on anybody here, but if it's easy to drive there, then it's probably because nobody's driving there. We've been speaking with Glenn Castanheira about downtown. Please come and visit. It is a great place. There's lots going on, and Glenn has shown us a little bit of that. Thanks for speaking with us today, Glenn.
Thanks for having me.